Bill, how did you first come to join the police?
Well, I was out of work. I was an horticulturalist, and I took a day off. I was living the other side of St Albans, and when I came down by train, I went to Victoria from home, and on the way down I met a gentleman in the train. His name was Sutton, George Sutton, and we came to Brighton, and when we got out at the Brighton station, we walked down Queen's Road, and we fell in love with the policeman on duty at the top of North Road. And my mate fell in love with him. He said, Billy said, I would not like to join that crowd. He said, George, by the way, was a proper cockney. And he said, I'd like to join that crash, he said. I said, would you? So he said, yeah. So anyway, the policeman was a big fat fella, and he got a big white helmet. He got a big white helmet, a big white coat, and he looked wonderful. And no doubt George, he did properly for him. Anyway, after we'd had a drink or two, we get down to East Street, and we had some more beer. And then he kept on about he wanted to join the police, so we walked into the police station. And when we get in there, the old sergeant behind the desk, he was there, and he said, what do you want? So, as I say, I felt a bit, you know. So he said, what do you want? I said, we both want to join the police. He said, get out. Get out, he said. So out come the door, the side door, and then the inspector walks out. I think it's Inspector Cook them days, so he said to me, he said, what do you want? I said, we come down, I said, I want to see if there's any vacancies, sir, he said. I said, so he said, so he said to the sergeant, he said, you leave it to me, sergeant, he said, bring him in my office. So we go into the office, and there was 2 vacancies, so he sent us over to Old Steen, to the police surgeon over there, and we passed, and we went over there, and in a fortnight's time I had a notification to come to the Brighton committee, to the watch committee at the Brighton Town Hall, and I had a shot when I saw George, the same bloke. We both joined up, and that particular night, from 12 to 2, we were walking around with the policeman being shown the beats.
What was your rate of pay, Bill, and how did you collect this?
The first week I went down there, and my wage was supposed to be 22 bob, 22 shillings, you see. And when I looked at it, I was 18 pence short. So the inspector that was paying it behind the desk, we used to pay down there, paydays. It was payday, a proper payday. You had to go down and get it, whether you was on duty or not. Anyway, he said, what's wrong? I said, I'm 18 pence short. So he said, well, I said, what's this for? I said, 18 pence short. He said, well, that's a death levy. He says, for ex-sergeant. I said, well, I didn't know this, sergeant. I said, I don't know the sergeant. He said, it don't matter, mate. He said, you've got to pay. You know? I said, it was the death levies.
What sort of memories have you got about the police strike of 1919?
Police strike, I remember the police strike, and we were all at 6 and 7, and I remember one of our sergeants, he was the head of our union. I never did join the union, I didn't believe in it myself, and some of the boys did, because I mean, we knew what, we heard what had happened to some of them in London, you see, and I wouldn't join it. My brother told me not to join it, we didn't join it.
Bill, I understand that you became involved also in the steel strikes in Wales, is that?
Yes, the coal strike down in Wales, yes, we went down there. I had a wonderful time down there with the boys and some of the Welsh guys. We was about 20 or 30 of us went down there. We was only down there for about a week though. And we had a wonderful time with them.
Did the military get involved in those strikes, Bill?
And that's right, no military. Not down there, no.
Did you do baton charges down there? I understand that.
No. We got on very, very well with the miners. We often used to go and have a drink with them and round the back, you know.
I understand, first of all, you've got a rather amusing story to tell about a stretcher.
The stretcher was for the ladies, the bad ladies that got drunk, and we had to, instead of arresting you, couldn't cart them down the road, the rest of them cart them down the road, so therefore we used to have to get the stretcher, and if they was up stopless we used to have to strap them on the stretcher and push it through the streets. And sometimes we had frightful trouble with the public, you see. The people didn't used to like that. Naturally, you wouldn't see a woman being taken down on the stretcher, but it was far better to take them on the stretcher than try and walk them, and they were struggling and that sort of thing.
Yes. Bill, I understand that you and your brother had some involvement, not as principals, but in investigating the Brighton trunk murder.
Yeah, well, I didn't have much to do with it. Percy was the detective sergeant at that time, and he was called to the station, and when this trunk was found up there, and Percy had to open it, and he found this just a torso.
Yeah.
There was no head or anything.
Yeah.
And they kept this torso at the mortuary quite close to the town hall. My friend was a jailer, and he used to have to go in there and take the stuff to rub into this torso to keep it for evidence, because the case lasted so long. No, this is the truth. Yeah, he got what's his name, and he used to tell me he used to go in and have to rub this stuff into this trunk, this woman's body, and then he washed his hands and go and have his breakfast.
Bill, I understand that Brighton races were a bit of a thorn in the side in those days.
The Brighton races, yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the Brighton races, you see, we had 3 days in August, and we had the crowds them days from all over the country, or you know, and them particular days we had a lot of trouble with what they called the Birmingham boys, the gangs that used to come down from Birmingham.
Yeah.
And what they call the razor slashers. They used to demand money from the different bookmakers up on the hill, you see, and if they didn't pay, they paid them at night. And I'll tell you what they used to do. They used to go into Sheriff and all these different places where the racing fraternity used to get. And if they hadn't paid, they used to find them and get open razors to come along and slash them across the cheek of the behind. Right, of course, often do that.